Hey guys, we're going to cap off the exotic armor tier lists today, ending with the hunter tier list. Once again, we'll be looking at every exotic, how they perform in a variety of gameplay modes, and how well they compare versus each other. Starting at the bottom, the ATS-8 Arachnid is an exotic with an interesting concept, but in-game falls flat. It comes with two stats, strength and discipline, neither of which play into the armor's main bonus. Replenishing melee energy when you cause damage with a grenade is an okay bonus, not amazing because throwing knife isn't exactly a PvE powerhouse. Replenish super energy when you kill with a grenade, that's not bad. The main bonus is that your golden gun zooms in when aimed. ATS-8 Arachnid is probably the worst hunter exotic because of this bonus, although the other bonuses and stats aren't doing it any favors. Golden Gun is already very accurate, and if you really want to bump it up, you can get Deadeye or Over the Horizon. Plain and simple, there's not really a reason to pick this up or use it. You should only use it because you absolutely need level 32 and you have nothing else at your disposal. It can create an occasional fun moment in PvP in some of the larger maps, but after a couple of games, you'll be over it. Young AHAMKARA'S spine is one of the more unknown and less explored exotics in the game. The bonuses are good, increased special weapon reload speed and more super energy when you kill with a grenade. However, the main bonus? Trip mine grenades last longer when placed. For PvE, this is total snoozeville. Not really much value there at all, if any. You don't need it to stick around for that long in PvE, and you should probably be using Incendiary Grenade anyway for better AoE potential. In PvP, this creates a somewhat interesting option, but I think that option is outclassed by other options. Having trip mines stick around for very long, to the point where you could possibly have another one ready before the previous one explodes, can be valuable. That being said, I don't know a single person, self included, who place a lot or any value into it at all, especially because trip mine grenades can just be shot manually to make them explode and go away. It has no value at all if you don't use trip mine grenade in the first place. Visually, they look great, but overall, young AHAMKARA'S spine is on the lower end of the spectrum of hunter exotics. Knucklehead radar can be an absolute dream or an absolute waste of time depending on what kind of player you are. Unfortunately, it comes with strength, so that's a bad start. More melee energy when you deal damage with a grenade is decent, I guess. At least it plays into the strength on the helm, and more super energy is always going to be good. The main bonus essentially gives you third eye for all of your primary weapons. Some people may live by this helm, others ignore it completely. I personally have adapted to playing Crucible knowing that I won't have my radar up when I aim. Third Eye will slowly but surely become a less valuable perk as you learn the maps and become more familiar with the game. It's still great on snipers, but let's get back to the point. Being able to have your radar up is a little bit more useful in 3v3 where there's not as much action and you need to play a little more carefully. In 6v6, it'll come down to personal preference, but yet again, I don't know many people who prefer this helm over other helms available, self included. In PvE, it can have its moments in Nightfalls and Heroics here and there, but it's not nearly as valuable in PvE as it is in PvP. Radiant Dance Machines are a very interesting exotic because they're an exotic that doesn't have any specific effect on any of your abilities. They come with strength, not a great start, although for Blade Dancers it's not the worst since Blink Strike is very good. More heavy ammo is always going to be good. The main bonus is that you move faster while aiming. Now for PvE, I'm going to basically completely disregard these. I don't think they're worth using for PvE at all, unless you really like how it adjusts your movement. In PvP, I personally rank them low, but these are very much a personal preference exotic. They don't add any bonuses to your abilities, they don't make you more efficient at doing something by any sort of factor, so it can't really be judged on those conditions, they just simply do a thing. How much that thing is valued is going to vary from person to person. Some people play with them, maybe some have gotten used to the movement speed already and don't like them. Some people really like them, so they use them more. Some people like to use MIDA with Radiant Dance Machines to make themselves super fast. I personally don't like them because they don't make you move that much faster to the point where I'm harder to hit or other people are much harder to hit, and this is the conclusion that many of my hunter friends and other consultants have agreed with me on. I think other things are more beneficial than these, but I don't have a rank for them. You're going to have to come up with your own ranking by trying them out for yourself and seeing how much they're going to be worth using on your terms. Don't Touch Me has a very interesting bonus. First off, it comes with great side bonuses, more super energy from kills and increased special weapon reload speed, so even off of just that, we're in good shape bonus wise. It comes with discipline as well, which is great. The main bonus gives you invisibility briefly when you take damage from a melee attack. Now in PvP, I don't see huge value in this. You may be able to start a melee fight with another player, go invis, blink, then come down for the kill, but I think that would be just as effective without the invis. In PvE, it's more of an insurance exotic. It gets you out of a jam if things start to gang up on you, and it works for any scenario, solo, heroics, or raiding. It makes for a very good exotic for the Abyss as well, seeing as you're constantly swarmed. It works very well for those players who want to make sure that they have an escape option available if things start to turn for the worse. Those players who are more in control of their surroundings may not see this bonus used to its full potential. Although if you're using this bonus to its full potential, that means you should probably change up your playstyle a little bit because it seems like you're getting hit a lot. I ranked these gauntlets mid-level across the board because they do stand very well on their own, invisibility or not. Your ranking will vary depending on how much you require the invis insurance. Crest of Alpha Lupi is the Hunter's Keeper of the Pack exotic. It comes with strength, unfortunately, so that's going to knock it down a bit. More hand cannon and special weapon ammo is boring, but very, very effective, especially considering their relevance in PvP. Keeper of the Pack allows you to res people faster, people will res you faster, and you will generate more orbs when using a super. Bladedancer does have a problem with orb generation, so this might help it out a bit. Otherwise, I'll just say what I've been saying for the other Keeper of the Pack exotics. Very good in 3v3 PvP and insurance policy for heroic strikes. It's not much of a solo exotic, it's not too much of a raid exotic, and not really for 6v6 either. It comes in handy for sure and can have its moments when things get a little hectic. Lucky Raspberry is a very solid chest piece overall. It comes with intellect, which is good, but it doesn't match up with the main bonus, which is not as good. More fusion rifle ammo is pretty good, but fusion rifles are probably on the lower end of actually being used compared to snipers and shotguns overall. More heavy ammo is great. The main bonus is that your arc bolt chains farther and you spawn with grenade energy. Arc Bolt is a pretty popular choice in PvP for hand cannon wielding blade dancers, as a hit from Arc Bolt and a headshot is a kill on a target. Being able to have that at your disposal every time you respawn is a very powerful tool. Lucky Raspberry can also be used Voidfang Vestment style, so you can equip Gunslinger instead of Blade Dancer and get respawning grenade energy. And I'd argue that respawning grenade energy is just as valuable as Arc Bolt chaining farther, especially for those who anchor in more competitive play. It's a pretty solid option for PvP. In PvE, it does do some good work being able to chain the damage farther, but it's not a huge game changer. It does stand pretty well on its own though. ACHLYOPHAGE Symbiote is probably the most popular of the Hunter exotics, and for good reason. Increased grenade throw distance can have its utility, and more super energy when killing with a grenade is not too bad. The helm does come with discipline, which doesn't play into our main bonus, but it does play into the other two, which is useful. The main bonus gives you an extra golden gun shot. This is one of those exotics that even though it buffs your super, and your super is probably your least used ability, it does so much for it that it's still worth getting. An extra golden gun shot is usually the difference between killing and not killing a major in PvE. In PvP, it's very, very good overall, but can be wasted if you're not careful with your golden gun activations. It is among the upper and top tier in some categories, and should definitely be purchased and upgraded whenever possible. Compared to the other Gunslinger exotics, it is the best by a significant margin. Finally, Mask of the Third Man is likely to be your go-to Blade Dancer exclusive exotic. It comes with intellect, great start since it plays into the main bonus. Increased melee attack speed is great, replenishing health when you pick up an orb is situational, and by situational I mean good for Crota and occasional uses in PvP and for everything else, with the main bonus having Arcblade consume less energy per attack. As a bonus for Arcblade, this is great. In PvE, when chained with something like Encore, it can really increase your total Arcblade duration. In the Abyss and Crota's End, it's fantastic. Otherwise, it's just really good in situations where you can actually use Arc Blade without putting yourself in danger. It just makes you that much more efficient. In PvP, it's also a very good choice, maybe just edging out Lucky Raspberry at times. Arc Blade in PvP is more about proper activation timing. Mask of the Third Man probably isn't going to completely save a poorly timed Arc Blade, but it can at least attempt to salvage a poorly timed activation when you need to traverse the map. In situations where you find yourself absolutely surrounded, this may just give you the spare second you need to get that final kill or escape. Most people use Hungering Blade in PvP though, so you're not seeing any of that synergy between Arc Blade and Encore. Encore isn't a bad choice, but Hungering Blade is more common and is probably the more reliable and safer choice because dead DPS does 0 DPS. All that being said, Mask of the Third Man is still going to be a top choice for Blade Dancers everywhere. That is your Hunter exotic tier list. Those are all 3 classes done. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.